Everybody, welcome back to my channel where the primary focus is on wellness and conservation. If you look back at the history of this channel, you'll see quite a bit of clips that have to do a lot with nature. That is the nature of this channel. And because of that, you might see a lot of information that has to do with the outdoors. And for some reason, when I'm talking, you'll happen to see me quite often indoors. Like right now, I'm inside of my trusty time machine. I'm moving from one point in time to another point in time a lot faster than I would be able to if I were just walking this distance. Right now I'm headed to Guadalupe River State Park, and during this journey I've been following along with a program, a STEPS program that, or not a STEPS program, but a challenge. I've been following along with some of the challenges that have come along with my smartwatch. My smartwatch has an association with an app that allows me to earn badges. Just like you've seen in the past on this channel how I've earned badges for this vehicle for having taken on some of the off-road challenges that this Jeep is capable of. I've also now got a wearable device that allows me to earn virtual badges for accomplishing certain things. Today, what I'm trying to do is tick away some of the walking miles. I have a total of 20 miles to go in order to earn the walking badges that I'm attempting to earn. I have 20 miles to go between today and tomorrow. It's currently 1:15, March the 30th, and March the 31st is the last day that I can complete these 20 miles. I'm kind of, what would you call it? I'm running behind. I'm walking behind in this case, as it were. I could have accomplished this task at home. That would have conserved quite a bit of fuel and some time, the time that it takes to get from one place to the other. But it would not have allowed me the opportunity to tell you the story that I'm about to tell you, which has a lot to do with wellness and conservation. As I'm passing the pillows, cardboard boxes, construction signs, signs of construction, I'm also passing a lot of wildflowers. It's 72 degrees outside. Normally at the beginning of spring we would be seeing all kinds of insect life to coincide with the flowers that we're seeing. While I'm at this place on this drizzly day, I would still normally expect to see all kinds of wildlife, all kinds of activity. And the reason that I started focusing on wellness and conservation on this channel is because throughout the course of time, I haven't been seeing all of the wildlife that I'd been expecting to see. And a little bit more shockingly, in some cases I've been seeing wildlife that I wasn't expecting to see because it was now out and about during the day foraging for the food that it could no longer find at night. I've told people the stories of how I used to be able to visit one of the West Texas parks, Big Bend National Park, and how I would see certain things emerge annually, like the giant lubber grasshoppers. I would see those things annually. like the tarantulas. I would see those things annually, like the lizard, the variety of lizards. But now, even on this road where I'm passing all the plastic bottles, a lot of plastic bottles, it reminds me a lot of what I'm seeing and what I have been seeing in the Big Bend area, which is more and more garbage strewn about and less of the wildlife. There was even one summer when I saw bats hunting dragonflies at about 3 p.m. on a 90 to 100 degree day. Bats were outside in the daytime hunting dragonflies. And that was because there are less of the typical insects that they were previously feasting on at night. As I go about my daily business, my business, I believe, is centered around wellness and conservation. As I go about my daily business, talking about the situation that we are seeing, that I am seeing, perhaps you're not seeing it because you never paid attention to these things in the past. As I go about my business talking about these things, I also want to have the opportunity to show you these things on this channel. And so if you look through the history of this channel, you'll see I've shared clips of, even recently, within this month, I've shared clips of birds building nests using plastic that's strewn about the neighborhoods. I've shown pictures of hawks. I've shown videos, videos of birds building nests with plastic. I've shown videos of bird nests that were torn down by hungry raccoons. And inside of that nesting area was just a ton of plastic. Things that normally we wouldn't see as much of in the past. And as I show those things on this channel, my channel experiences slower and slower growth, because who wants to see trash? Only I think this is a golden opportunity to share with one another a situation that is occurring, a situation that needs to be addressed, a situation that needs to be uncovered, a situation that no longer should be hidden. And so as I showcase these situations, I find myself more and more concerned. I find myself more and more concerned because, well, who wouldn't be concerned if their business was faltering? Last year, I was able to take one party on a guided trip to one of our favorite regions, the Big Bend State Park, the neighbor of Big Bend National Park. Some might argue it's an even more infrequently visited place where theoretically we should see more wildlife, less signs of people. And we found the same plastic bottle intrusion. We found the same Mylar balloon intrusion on that pristine area of West Texas. We found all of the same troubling signs. The decline in nature, for an example. We found less lizards, less of the mammals, less of the typical array of birds. that we normally would see and encounter frequently. And we shared that video. I may even link to that video in this video itself. We shared that video hoping that our friends and family would share those experiences with other people, hoping that our channel would grow so quickly so that we could send a resounding heads up on this amazing platform, hoping that as we expressed our vulnerabilities, we would be able to grow together in fellowship, hoping to plant seeds instead of continuing to plant plastic bottles by purchasing those pallets. We had a lot of hope. I had a lot of hope. But as the days have gone by, as the years have gone by, as the opportunities have gone by for me to continue to share my thoughts in the form of song, in the form of visuals, in the form of video, in the forms of pictures, I realized that some people weren't able to hear or see or even speak. And what I mean by that is I've several times reached out to my companions who are tied to clubs that are in favor of the Sierras, clubs that are in favor of nature and conservancy, clubs that are in favor of conservation. And in response, when I point out that some of these pieces of litter that we're finding throughout these areas are being issued by these clubs in the form of nonstop catalogs, sharing information that could be just as easily shared online exclusively, sharing information in the form of print driven by advertisements. I'm met with responses that basically indicate, well, what can we do? And usually those responses are being uttered by people who work for those very industries. And because we as a people are working for the very industries that are generating all these things that we're finding strewn about, we of course feel like, well, what can we do? Because what can we do to speak with our CEOs or even with our own fathers about these topics without causing somebody to get incensed? What can we possibly do? And so that's why, as I said, I'm spending an amount of gasoline in this fantastic luxury vehicle to get where I'm going, outfitted in all of the latest technology, a smartwatch,
exit the highway at exit 550.
that allows me to earn virtual badges, and I'm seeing all the plastic bottles, discarded rubbish all around us, and I see a great need for us to stop and smell the roses, so to speak. And so on my channel, I share things like videos of flowers, videos of birds, videos of wildlife, videos of the things that bring me peace. And they bring you peace as well. And all throughout this same channel are videos of me talking inside of places, because I'm trying to multitask. When I'm in nature now, I'm just observing it for my own self. If you don't want to see it, well, it's no wonder that you're not sharing the videos with your friends and family, because it must not bring you joy. If you wanted to see more of it, you probably would share those topics with your friends and family, and this channel would be a huge success in being able to demonstrate the observations in the form of video, irrefutable evidence that there are different ways, and that there are changes that are occurring around us, and that there are great needs for us to talk about something different, and not just continue to vote on continuing business as usual with a bunch of people in suits having fancy conversations while actually accomplishing little more than earning more of our own money, our own energy. Some people might hear what I'm saying and think that I'm trying to go against an industry. I've heard it told to me directly that I shouldn't be telling people how to live. I've heard our fathers tell me directly, well, as long as we don't talk about religion, politics, or food, or health, we can talk. I've heard it from my father himself. I want to talk with you, but I can only talk with you for a certain amount of time before I get upset. I think a lot of us feel the same way when we're living in a fantasy land and we don't want to actually address something in ourselves, that we decide to stop listening to the person who's presenting an issue. There are many documentaries on the great channels right now, the great streaming services right now, and the documentaries talk about the plight of the whistleblower. What is a whistleblower? Whistleblowers are people that inevitably are forcibly silenced. In my own family, I've been a whistleblower talking about a direct family member who mentally is in a place where they went to their neighbor's house with a screwdriver to attempt to harm the neighbors. I've asked for help among our public officials. I've asked for help among our first responders. And in one case, our first responders are direct kin to the public officials. And they wanted to help cover up the incident more than they wanted to help to present the fact that there's someone in our community who is very willing to and capable of and who has actually done great damage to the community. They're capable of harming other people without proper help. But that proper help can't be had when the industry is stacked against someone. My whole family on this direct relative side hid my direct relative from me, hid him from me as they robbed him of his property. I've told that story on this channel. If you're still listening to this video, you'll understand. I am going through a great amount of extremes as I pass by the plastic bags. I'm going through a great amount of challenges as I pass by the wildflowers. I'm going through challenges that I cannot quite explain because I've never seen anything like this. And neither have you, possibly. And that's why I talk about wellness and conservation. If we are unwell, if we are not at ease, we can't possibly hear everything that's being said. Nor can we associate the actual cause, the root cause of an issue to a problem. We might continue, for an example, taking statins without ever deciding to reduce the cholesterol intake from animal products. We might never ever give consideration to the fact that we are in a period of Lent and that maybe we could have gone without certain things. We may never offer these opportunities to our own family members because we may not believe in any values of restraint. And if we don't believe in any values of restraint, well then we pretty much have basic addiction. Basic addiction is the root cause of the plastic that I'm passing by right now. And also, there's a little field of bluebonnets that I passed by. Basic addiction causes us to overlook the ability to prioritize something over something else. Basic addiction has cost me almost my entirety of friends and family. And now it's costing me the wildlife that's around us. And as I try to pull the needles out of the veins, and as I try to pull the bottles away from the people that continue to suck it down, you can hear that I'm very dead serious about what it is that we're up against. We are up against something that we've never faced without the likes of our grandparents to advocate in favor of talking about these issues in a constructive way. We've never faced these opportunities to talk like this. And so every time when someone asks me how I'm doing, and I say, well, this is the situation. And when they respond to me saying, it sounds like you're doing great, all I can think is, well, I'm doing pretty great. But that doesn't mean that that's what I said at all. I didn't say I'm doing great because I'm capable of walking 20 miles in 2 days. Although that is a great accomplishment if I can do it. I didn't say I'm doing great as I pass by all of the plastic that I can't pick up all on my own without anybody else's help. I can't say I'm doing great when I say I don't see all of the animals that I used to see. And the bats that we see are barely getting any nourishment, and sometimes they have to hunt during the day. And so do the armadillos and opossums and raccoons. They have to hunt during the day. They have to look for food. I didn't say I'm doing great because I don't want to be boastful about it. And I certainly didn't say don't do anything about it. I asked over and over for my friends and family to share the things that would help us to bring about these conversations among our fathers. Where are our fathers? And so to do great things in this dying society, what difference does it make? At what point will we see how fruitless all of the efforts will be that have nothing to do with planting things that will fruit? At what point will we see all the signs that we stick in the ground advocating for one suited person over another? At what point will we see those signs blown all around the street and think, man, maybe we shouldn't have produced more of those signs. Maybe we shouldn't have produced any more of this rubbish. Maybe we won't see it. The more I look at the weather right now, as drizzly as it is and dreary, and know that I have to walk through mud if I'm going to make it my 20 miles, well, there may be some animals out and about, just like me. What am I if not an animal myself? What are you? Some people will say and use scripture to say that nature is the opposite of something that we would want to go out and pay attention to and think about. And all I've got to say is, in those same books, we are the stewards of those places. And without tending to those places, we might as well just be laying in any alley with a needle sticking out of our own veins. We might as well not care about the things we're raising, the offspring that we have. We might as well not even think about our fathers or our mothers, or Mother Earth. We might as well just submit to defeat. That's not in my DNA. In my DNA is the absolute drive to succeed. That's the nature of humanity. And if we don't see that our children are part of this decimation, and we don't see that the success of our children depends on our actions, maybe we're not all that much of a parent. Maybe that's why we can't share these things with our own family. And maybe, for whatever reason, maybe we've already given up. But it's only because we haven't recognized any alternative. Hopefully this video will help you to recognize that there is an alternative to giving up. Maybe the alternative is giving up the things that distract us from taking the time to enjoy the things that we really want to enjoy. And maybe we'll recognize that that's really all there is in life right now, is to enjoy what we're here to enjoy, nurture those qualities, and celebrate those traits among one another that we want to succeed. For me, it doesn't really matter what somebody wears. Wear a suit. Wear a t-shirt. Wear nothing at all. But whatever you do, be yourself to the best of your ability. And don't wear yourself out trying to worry about what other people are thinking about, and Definitely don't expect anybody to help you along the way when you ask for help for somebody else or even for yourself. But that doesn't mean to not have hope. There is a higher power. I've talked many times about putting my hands directly in the ocean, asking for a sign, receiving a sign from our higher power. And some people will tell me, I don't want you to talk about those things because that has to do with religion. I don't want you to talk about those things because that has to do with health. I don't want you to talk about those things because that has to do with whatever disagrees with the fabric of shining my own light. All in the name of glorifying a higher power, the Creator, that has absolutely brought to us every opportunity that we've ever known. In every job that you're working, each of you out there, I want you to think long and hard and recognize everything that you're selling came from nature. Whether you're selling a policy that safeguards a piece of property, whether you're selling a piece of software that goes into a platter on a hard drive, whether you're selling food, whether you're selling a fancy car, all of these resources that we're selling were freely given to us in the past by nature. And if we are ungrateful, perhaps it should all be taken away from us anyway. Those are just some things to think about. I hope that you're having a great day. I'm passing some beautiful light purple flowers. I don't know what to call them. I showed them in a short clip that people both liked and disliked. And I'm now passing an open bag of garbage that's strewn all about the field. I see it all. We all see it all. The filters that we have. Maybe we need to take off those rose-colored sunglasses and start seeing it all for the first time. And maybe only then we'll start to see how we can work with one another to celebrate the achievements that we're making that are actually beneficial to one another. Passing a big field of yellow flowers now. Maybe at that point, when we begin to celebrate with one another, maybe then we'll be able to live with a familiarity of leaning in the favor of peace. But for as long as we overlook the things that people are talking about that are in need of discussion, and for as long as we call those people whistleblowers or radicals or extremists for just talking about the most basic of things, we may never ever be able to have a communication with even our fathers. And I say that from a place of heart, from my heart. I say that from my heart space. I say that in a way where I'm suggesting that maybe whether or not there is time, there might be some people who refuse to communicate no matter what. And that's why I'm saying, don't rely on anybody else to do what it is that you're being called to do. Right now, more than anything, there's a time for action. This is a time for action. For all those people talking about great shifts in the universe and the energies that we need to not have around us, maybe we need to look at what we have around us and not try to figure out how to discriminate against what we don't need and who we don't need to talk with. And maybe we need to figure out, why is it that we're being put in each other's circles over and over? Why is it that we are supposed to be talking with one another? Why, if somebody ghosted me, would I want to ghost them? Why is it that I would treat people the way that I would not want to be treated, as revenge? All these thoughts are basic thoughts. I have a feeling that I've honored my mother and father by being as honest as I can and saying what I mean and meaning what I say. And I have a feeling that in time, channels such as this one will be respected, relatable, required. Because our education is not coming from an education system that's not out in these fields right now. Our education is coming from real life experiences that are happening right now. Our education, our lack of education, might be the thing that causes us imminent doom. So, how am I feeling? I'm feeling like there's a lot of trouble. There are challenges that I have to work with in my daily existence. I have a feeling like some of the people who are feeling a little bit entitled are deciding to withhold conversations for reasons that are unacceptable, unnatural, unwarranted. And I have a feeling that I'm just steamrolling over those conversations and just saying what needs to be said. And maybe the people who are withholding conversation are being silent because it was time for them to listen. And maybe the people who are continuing to treat other people how they would not want to be treated are starting to have a come to Jesus moment. Those are just my thoughts. Anyway, I've made it to my destination. I'll upload this on the same day that I've recorded it, March 30th, Thursday, a drizzly, dreary day. If I make a video tomorrow, hopefully it'll be saying, guess what? I made it, or I'm in the process of making it. Whatever the case, until next time, I hope that you have an amazing day. I hope that you are celebrating your opportunity for life, helping one another to grow, and that means nurturing one another. Until next time, thanks so much for watching, subscribing, commenting, and all of that. Peace, love, and all that old school stuff.